What's going on? It's Tyler Knowles and Ashley Templeton with Midtown Mortgage. We are going to talk with rates continually going up. I kind of wanted to bring on a specialist and, tell her side of what she's seeing and where she thinks things are trending to. So take it away.
Well, Tyler, we talked a few months ago about interest rates increasing. I believe they were in the threes at that point.
Yeah. Mid threes is the one I remember, and then now it's like the same thing. It's like sitting at 5. But anyway, yeah.
Yes, and we talked about them potentially getting to 5.5 before we get to 2023. And guess what? We are crossing the 5% threshold. So right now, rates are teetering on a 30-year mortgage from 4.875 to 5.25%.
Okay.
Just going back and forth. So we had the largest increase in interest rates, or the fastest increase in interest rates in 40 years. But now, even though they're higher, they are starting to at least slow down as far as the increase. Like they're not every single day. We were getting sometimes 6 to 7 interest rate increases in a day. We're not seeing that as much now. So maybe 1 or 2 rate changes a day, good or bad.
Okay.
So just hopefully this will slow down, but a lot of it has to do with inflation. And so if you see your consumer price index increase, that means what consumers are paying for all their items. If those continue to go up, that will drive rates up. Now, the producer price index is actually going up faster than the consumer price index, which really hurts. But the consumer, the reason why they are not exactly the same is the producer is paying a little bit of that. It's eating into their profit margin. And so that's why the consumer index is not as high.
So what do you see moving forward? Do you think they're going to stagnate a little bit? Do you see them continually going up at a pretty fast pace? What are you thinking in the next 6 months to the end of the year, I guess?
So my personal opinion is I don't think they'll go above 6.25. I don't know why, but that's just a personal opinion. Nothing to really back it. There are 2 train of thoughts. There are some that will say this will continue to rise. If inflation continues to rise, that will happen. But there's also the train of thought that we might be headed a little bit into a recession. And if that happens, you could see rates decrease. Now, one thing that you have to know about interest rates is the cost of these rates are more expensive, meaning that a 5.25% interest rate is pretty similar to the pricing of an interest rate of 5.5, meaning that you would pay discount points more so to get these rates.
Okay, so you think that will start coming back?
Well, it's going on now.
Oh, it's already happening. Okay.
Yes, and the reason why that is investors are scared to pay much for these loans because they think people will refinance them before too long, which means they eventually think rates will come back down at some point.
Gotcha. Well, that's good information. Okay, so you think 6.5, but it's obviously just kind of a good
6.25, 6.5. I think that'll be like the cap before next year. I still think you should buy rather than rent because you are locking in a payment.
Yeah.
You could always refinance and get it down.
Very important. And also, if you talk to a lot of your parents, a lot of them, I just had a phone call with a guy, I think early this week, and it must have been some crazy loan. Is 20%, has that ever been a thing? He told me.
Yeah, Carter, the teens, and they're comparing this president to Carter because of inflation and inflation.
Okay. 6 is still not terrible given the grand scheme of things.
It is not. Actually, when I started, they were 8%.
Yeah. Okay. So bingo.
Yeah.
So anything else that you want to wrap a bow on this?
Yes. To prevent, once again, we offer lock and shop. That means you can lock in your interest rate for 60 or 90 days, and that will hold that rate for that time period while you shop for a house. And if rates are to come down, we can get you a free float down.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a big deal.
People that did it last month, their rates are 4.25, 4.375.
Compared to a percentage point above. So does that work? And this is off the cuff. Does that work even if you're under contract, or is that only something you can do beforehand?
Yes, we don't call it so much lock and shop when you're under contract, but we will do a free float down up until 10 business days before closing.
Bingo. Well, excellent. Ashley, thank you so much. Good information. I guess Knowles Knows Homes. We're out of here.